Hi, this is Shelomo Solson, the host of the Teenage Impact Podcast, where we share stories, tips, and specific strategies on how you as a teenage kid can overcome adversity, build resilience, and become successful in life. When I was younger, I was always bullied. And because I was bullied, I always seemed like to get into this little funk and I could never get out of it. That continued to high school, college, post college, up until I found ways to get better. I started reading books. I started going to therapy sessions. I went to hours and hours of therapy sessions. I started getting mentors. I started going to different programs and I compiled all the tips that I use until this day to get out of funks into a guide called 7 Quick and Easy Ways to Feel Better About Yourself. We're human, and it's okay to feel negative at times. It's okay to be in these funks because you're going through these different challenges in your life. Whenever you're in this funk, use the 7 Quick and Easy Ways to feel better about yourself as a guide to help you get out of it. So download it. The link is in the description, and do it right after you listen to this podcast episode. This podcast episode is going to be why a simple and harmless joke to someone can be harmful to another person. We've all been there while we're hanging out with our friends, having a good time, making fun of each other, telling each other jokes, and a friend can say a joke to you and you could take it completely the wrong way. And when you take it the wrong way, you get defensive. And when you get defensive, your friend can say, "Hey, I'm sorry. That was just a joke. Don't take it so personally." It happens all the time. But for me, people would joke around me all the time for 15 years, and people always bullied me. People bullied me for not being athletic. People bullied me for my race and my religion. People bullied me for the way I spoke. And every time I got offended, people would say, "Man, we're messing around with you because we love you. We wouldn't be making fun of you if we didn't love you." To me, that's the poorest excuse anyone could ever say. If you have a friend, yes, we're going to say jokes to each other. That's never going to be avoided. But it all depends what type of jokes you say to another person. I feel like there's a line that should never be crossed. And when you cross that line continuously and say jokes that hurt your friends, you're going to drift them away from hanging out with you. And then soon enough, you're gonna wonder why that person's not hanging out with me. I had to drift away from my friends because not because I didn't like them, because I was just tired of being a target every single time. I was tired of people always making fun of me for being Indian, for being Jewish, for the way I speak. And it always got to my head and led to many years of insecurities and lack of confidence. I don't want the same thing happening to you and your friends, which is why I think it's extremely important for you to listen to this podcast episode and be careful of what you're saying around your friends. Just because they are your friends doesn't give you the leeway to hurt their feelings all the time. Here are 3 reasons why a harmless joke can actually be harmful. The person being made fun of can already have insecurity issues about that one particular joke. For example, I already developed insecurity issues early on for how I spoke. And when people made fun of me for the way I spoke for years, they would always say stuff, "Oh, I'm joking around, I'm joking around." But I had insecurities because I went to speech therapy class. I always had to repeat myself for the way I spoke. People couldn't understand me. And over the years, I developed this insecurity. And when you make fun of someone, either for the way they spoke, or for the way they speak, for how they look, they can already have an insecurity inside of them. And when you, as a friend, is making fun of that one person, even to you, for you, it's a joke, but for them, every time someone makes fun of them, their confidence gets lower and lower and lower. And you as a friend should never take a stab at your friend's confidence. You should be building up their confidence, not tearing it down continuously. Number two, someone can develop insecurities by your jokes. When you say a joke to someone one time or two times, it can be completely harmless. But when you say the same joke to that person, because it's an easy go-to for you to make fun of that person, that's when that person can develop a certain insecurity. For example, I always thought that I wasn't attractive. And that was a complete lie, because later on in life, I realized that I was an attractive person. But people continuously told me I was ugly, that I would never have a girlfriend, that no girl would even date me. And I got rejected a couple times, and that reassured that I was ugly and that no girl would date me. So I didn't even try to attempt to get a girlfriend all throughout high school. But when college came along, I did date multiple girls. I was in multiple long-term relationships, and that kind of boosted my confidence. But when you make the same jokes to someone over and over again, and when a person doesn't have an insecurity about that one topic, can develop that an insecurity if they hear it multiple times. Number three, it can be funny to you, but to the person you're saying the joke to, can be offensive or straight out disrespectful. I don't think you should ever make fun of someone's ethnicity, religion, family, political views, or anything else they find really passionate about. If you won't post something like a joke on social media where a lot of people will find offensive, it's a good thing that you don't tell that joke to a friend either. I remember when I was in high school, people would say offensive stuff like, all Jews should have died in the Holocaust, or, oh, your people killed Jesus, or people called me terrorist. Things that have nothing to do with me, and they're just generalizing a group of people because of their ignorance, shouldn't be said. Another example is when the whole coronavirus thing happened, people were calling it the Chinese virus, and people were making fun of Chinese people because of it. Or when 9/11 happened, all the Muslims and all the Indians and all the brown people in the Asian communities were targeted because of being brown and because of their skin color. For some people, they mean well and they see it as a joke, but that person might not see it as a joke because other people straight out are saying it in a disrespectful manner. Let me just go over the three reasons why, your harmless joke can be harmful. Number one, that person can have insecurity towards the joke that you're telling them. Number two, it can develop into an insecurity. And number three, it can be straight out disrespectful. I'm not telling you not to say jokes to your friend and not make fun of your friends, because friends make fun of each other. But there is a line that people shouldn't cross. So how do you separate a joke from something harmful? Number one, if you make a joke and someone asks you to stop, or they don't like that particular joke, then that means you should stop. I've seen it so many times where a person continuously gets made fun of for the same thing, regardless if they're telling their friends to stop. And that person is so nice that he or she doesn't do anything about it, because they realize that, hey, I told these people to stop, but they're not stopping. So I'm just going to take it. I've done it before too. Your excuse could be, hey, it's just a joke. Don't take it so personally. But they may have a certain reasoning behind it. Maybe they have a story attached to why they don't like that particular joke. Just trust a friend if they tell you that they don't like you making fun of that one person for saying a particular thing. In the beginning, I wouldn't open up much, but if something offends me now, I would straight up tell my friends, hey, I don't like the way you said that. Can you stop saying that? And then because they're my friends, they would stop. And that's what friends should do. You as a friend should open up to the other person if you don't like something. And as that friend, if you truly that friend, then you should have the boundaries and you should stop the joke you're saying because they don't like that particular joke. Number two, you should stop repeatedly saying the same joke to a particular person. Jokes are jokes, but if you continuously make fun of someone for the same thing, then that person can develop an insecurity towards that, which has nothing to do with them, but everything to do with you constantly putting in that subconscious mind that joke you keep telling them. For example, let me go back to the whole ugly situation. Someone might call me ugly because they might find it funny. And even though I might not be ugly, but if someone calls me ugly continuously, even if they're joking around, then it will go in my subconscious mind, me believing that I am ugly. And then I'm going to develop an insecurity towards it. And then that's going to affect my social life. That's going to affect my dating life and other aspects of my life. So stop continuously making the same joke towards a person because it's going to go in their subconscious mind and they're going to develop negative habits around it. And finally, number three, if you're truly someone's friend, let them know and tell them, hey, if I'm ever crossing the line with my jokes, just let me know. I have a no judgment zone. So if they ever do come up with you and say, hey, you said that one particular thing earlier that kind of bugged me, can you not say it again? And you should have a no judgment zone and you shouldn't get defensive about it. My friends do that to me now. They said, hey, Shlomo, if we ever cross the line with our jokes, just tell us, we'll stop. And you should never feel ashamed for telling your friends that, hey, you kind of crossed the line with those jokes. I'm not saying don't say jokes, but have boundaries with your jokes because for you, it might be funny. For them, it's kind of like a touchy subject. And friends, best friends, family members should always have boundaries with each other. Just because you're boys or your girls, brothers, sisters with someone doesn't mean you should cross those boundaries. You should always set these boundaries from the start so you let the other person know not to cross them. And if they're truly your friend, they wouldn't cross them. I want to let you know that continue saying jokes and making fun of your friends because that's what friends do. We crack jokes with each other, but always know that you could be saying something that could be potentially making the other person feel insecure. And you, as a friend, should always make sure that you never cross that line. Always check up on your friend and ask them, hey, just want to let you know that I'm joking around. Is there anything that I am saying that does bother you? And if it does, let me know. I'll stop it. A friend should always stay close with each other, should always joke around with each other, but should always respect each other. And I feel like these tips can help increase the bond of friendships even more by setting those boundaries and by having that open communication with each other. Thank you for listening to this episode. Like I said, if you are in this funk, go download the 7 Quick and Easy Ways to feel better about yourself. Follow me on Instagram at Shlomo Solson. The Instagram handle name is in the description. And until next time, peace.